Hello everyone. So today we are going to see association mapping. So in that we have one-to-one, many-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many relationship. So two tables are connected with the primary key and foreign key concept. That is one table primary key connected with the another table foreign key. So this is nothing but the relationship between the two tables. So what are the steps for coding? So first of all, we have to define the two classes, then create a has a variable in a parent class, then check for the collection or not collection, then apply multiplicity annotation at a has a variable. That is, these are the four multiplicity annotation. We'll see all the example, that is 4 example for this. First one for one-to-one, then one-to-many, many-to-one, then many-to-many. And at the last we have to add the join column or join table at a has a variable. So let's suppose the example. First of all, we will see many-to-one relationship. So let's suppose here many students can have one book. Suppose example Sam and John are the two students who want one book, that is this data structure book. So we can take here foreign key, that is this book ID foreign key, and we can store that book ID number. So that means here we can easily see this Sam has a book 101 with the book ID 101, that is data structure. This John taken the book, this data structure. So foreign key, in the foreign key column this book ID will be stored. So let us see how to code this. So here I am using STS Spring Toolsuite. So go to the file, go to the new, here we have to create Spring Starter project. Now the name of the project will take Spring Boot many-to-one, many-to-one. Then click on next. Here we have to take Lombok, and here we are using MySQL database, so MySQL driver and Spring Data JPA. Click on finished, so project will be created. So here on the left side, whatever class that has, we will take it as a parent, and on the right side we will consider it as a child. So this will be the parent and this will be the child. So these are the steps we have to follow for the coding. First example we will see about many-to-one. So let's go to the STS. Here you can see our project is created. So go to the src/main/resources. First of all, application properties. First of all, we will give data source, that is related to database properties. So spring.data source.url, data source.url. This is nothing but the JDBC URL for the MySQL. So what is the JDBC? Colon MySQL colon / local host colon, what is the port number of the MySQL? 3306/new. New is a schema name. I have already created a schema in the MySQL workbench. I am using your MySQL workbench. You can use the command line client or workbench. So clicking on in this, we can also create a schema. I have already created a schema with the name new. So for that reason, we are taking this. So JDBC colon MySQL colon / localhost 3306/new. This is the JDBC URL for the MySQL. Now next thing we have to give is the spring.datasource.username of the database. Data source.username. So at the time of downloading, whatever username you have taken, that you have to give here. I have given root, and also password I have given root. So let me delete this .password here and here root. Now next thing we have to give the some JPA related properties. So spring.jpa.showSQL. So this will be the for the query, whatever query are executing, that will be showed on the console. The next one spring.jpa.hibernate detail auto, and here we will take as create. Create means if the table is already present, then that will this will drop that table and it will create the new table. and if you want to update that table, you can give here update. That means if the table is already present, then it will not create again the table. But in the create, what will happen, if the table is present, it will be dropped and new table will be created every time. Next, what you have to do, we have to create here a package. So go to this base package and go to the new. Here we will create packages. First of all entity, enty, then right click on this, go to the new, go to the package. Next package we have to repo package. Then last one is for testing that. So go to the new, go to the package. Here I will create runner package. Now what are the steps you have to do? First step is define two classes. So in the many2 one, whatever example we have given, student and library. So two classes we have to define. So first of all, I will go to the entity package, go to the new. Here we have to create one class. So I will take here class name as book. Here I took the library, but in the example I will take here a book. For to understand, I will take here book instead of library. So here I will take private integer book ID, private string book name, and this ID I want to take as primary key. So @ID annotation, Ctrl+Shift+O for importing this java.x.persistence.id we have to use. Now this class we have to map with the table. So for that we have to take entity annotation. Now getter and setter @data we have to take, and all args constructor and no args constructor. This is done. Now this table name I want to change. So I will take here table name bktab. So whatever the table will be created corresponding to this class, that table name will be book tag, and in that table these two columns will be there, book ID and book name, and this book ID will be the primary key. Alright, this is done. Now next thing, next class. So book class is done. Next class we have to take is student class. So go to the STS. Now in the entity, right click on this, go to the new, go to the class. Here we have to create one class called student, and here I will take private integer sid, and here we have to take as the primary key, so @ID, then private string student name. Right, next thing, what we have discussed, coding step, create a has a variable in a parent class. So as we have discussed, we have to take this left side as a parent and this as a child. So has a variable in a parent class. So this is a has a variable and this is a parent class. So next step we have to perform here. What taken? Book, private book, book object bob I will take here book. Right, Ctrl+Shift+O for importing. Yes. Now next thing, what are the steps here? Next is check for collection. So here no need to collection. In the next relationships there will be the need of collection, in that we will see. Next one is apply multiplicity annotation. So here what we have to do, many to one. So many to one annotation we have to take here on the has a variable, So many to one we have to take. Fourth step is done. Now fifth step is add a join column, that is foreign key column. So here for this foreign key we have to take this annotation called join column. That means to identify which book is taken by student, so that book ID will store in the foreign key. So foreign key, in the foreign key duplicates are allowed, but in the primary key column duplicates are not allowed. So for that reason we take here foreign key and we will store the book ID. So by using this foreign key we can identify that which book is taken by that student. So here you can see Sam will take this book 101. So 101 is data structure book. So by using this foreign key we can find that which book is taken by that student. So fifth step is join column. So and also here in the OR condition I return join table. This condition, this join table only will be applicable in the many to many relationship, that we will see later. So here we will require @join column. So @join column, and name of the join column I will take as bidefk. Let's save this. Now this class we have to map with the table. So entity annotation @all annotation @no annotation data for the get translator methods. Control Shift O for importing. Now this table name I want to take as student tab, so I will take table annotation, and name I will take as NAME_STD_TAB, student tab I want to take. Now let's save this. Now in the repo package, we have to create two repository. So go to the interface. First of all, book repository, which will extend from the JPA repository, and here we have to take book and integer. So this integer is the primary key, whatever primary key present in the book, that data type, here integer. So that's why we are taking here integer, and this is the class name, entity class name. Also for the student, we have to create one repository. Go to the new, go to the interface. Here we will create student repository, and we have to extend it. So extend JPA control. Here what class name you have to take? Student. And what is the data type? Integer. Control Shift O for importing student. Let's save this. Now it's time to go for testing. So go to the runner. I will create here one class called test runner. So test runner, 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 and we have to implement it from the command line runner. Implement CLR. Press Ctrl space command line runner, and make sure that we have to give @ component, and we have to also implement one method, and here we have to implement the method. And also for saving the book object and book record and student record, we will require the book repository and student repository. So repository b repo, I will take here name, and @autowired. Press Ctrl Shift O for importing. Same here for Ctrl Alt down. At the place of book repository, what we have to take? Student repository. Here I will take yes repo, right? Now first we will see, let me import Ctrl Shift O. First of all, create the book object. What happened here? Yeah, create book object. So I will create book bk1 equals to new book. What are we have taken here? 101 ds. So 101 ds data structure book. Control Alt down. I will take book 2, and I will take here a name Spring Boot SB. Alright. Control Shift O for importing the book entity. Right. Now how to save this? So save this using the book repository. So brepo.save save bk1, Control Alt down, bk2. So book will be saved. Now it's time to go for student. Create student. So now student est1 equals to new student. Here I will take 50, and student name as Sam, and he want data structure book. So bk1, book 1 object we have to pass. Control Shift O for importing student. What happened? Control Shift O. It is taking some time. Import, yeah, this we have to import. Imported, what happened? So the error is gone. So Sam want book 1, that is data structure. Control Alt down. I will create one object student 2, which is having the roll number 60, and name of that is John, and he is also want the data structure book. Also we will create another 2 records. That one want Spring Boot book, and that ID will be 70, and here we will take 80, and name will be Angela and Brock, and they want Spring Boot book. And let's save this. So student 1 2, and here we'll take 3, and here we'll take 4. Let's save this by using the yes repo, that is student repository dot save. So first one will be S1, control alt down, down, down. So student 1 will be saved, 2 will be saved, 3 will be saved, 4 will be saved. So EST1 we have to take. EST, 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 EST. Let's save this. Now it's time to test this application. So go to this com.app package. In that Spring Boot menu to one application, press Ctrl F11. We'll get option Spring Boot application, run as Spring Boot application. Okay. So here we'll get the result whether this will be executed or not. Let's ignore these errors. So here we can see drop the tables if exist, then after that create the tables, alter the tables. Here insert operation will be done. Yeah, inserting and application will be stopped. Now it's time to go to for the MySQL workbench. Earlier there was no tables in the new schema. Let's refresh this. So in the tables you can see BK tab and student tab is created. In the student tab we should get the 4 records as we have save the 4 records. Here we can see 50 Sam, 60 John, 70 Angela, 80 Brock. Sam and John want 101. So in the book tab, what is the 101? 101 data structure book. Again, if I go to the student tab, here we can see Angela and Brock have 102 ID. So that means they have the 102 book with the 102, that is Spring Boot book. So this is the first example we have seen about what many to one relationship. So let me delete this table, drop two tables, drop now. So let us see next one. So this is done. Now next is one to many. So here is the case what one student can have many books. So let's suppose there is one student called Sam. He want two books, that is data structure book and also Spring Boot. In that case the relation will be one to many. Now here comes in the book, so make sure that whatever the side, here many student and here many book. So foreign key will be always at the many side. So in the student, at the student table side there will be foreign key. In the book, at the side of book there will be foreign key, right? And in the many to many there will be another condition, and also in the one to one there will be another condition that we'll see later. So make sure that in the many to one and one to many, wherever there is many, in that side foreign key will be created. So let's take this example. Now student and book, and here wherever the foreign key column will be created, we have to take that foreign key column name only in the parent. Here the foreign key column is created in the book, but we have to give that name in the parent only. Whether that will be created here or here, but we have to take that name in the parent class only. So first step, define two classes. These are the steps we'll see. Now go to the STS. Let's stop this. Here we will create another project. Go to the file, go to the new, here create Spring Starter project. Now what will be the name? Spring Boot one to many. So let me go here. Yeah, Spring Boot one to many. Then next, click on next. What are the dependency? Lombok, MySQL driver and Spring Data JPA. Click on finish. So the project will be created, and so in the, let me close all the editors, and this application.properties will paste in this project because these are the same we will record here as we are using the MySQL database. So let me copy this, Control C, Control V. Let's save this and we will close this project, that is one to many. So let me close, where is close project. So what is the first step? Create the package. So right click on this, go to the new, go to the package, and here we'll create one package called entity for the entities. Next thing, go to the new, go to the packages, and here we have to create repo package, right? Right click on this, go to the new, go to the class, now go to the package. Here we have to create runner runner package, right? So in the entity, right click on this, go to the new, go to the class. Here first of all we have to create the classes. First is book class, I will create here. Now in the book class, what are the properties we have to give? Private integer book id we have, so integer bid, right? Then we have private string bname, right? Here this is primary key, so @id we have to map with the table, so entity annotation, right? So @data for getter and setter methods, @allars constructor, @noars constructor. Also this table name I have to take another, so in the table annotation name I will take as bktab tab. This is done. So first step is define two classes. One class is defined. Now it's time to go for second class. So title on this entity package, go to the new, go to the class. Here we have to create one class called name student, right? Here we have to create private integer sid student id, private string student name, right? Now here check for the collection. Create has a variable in the parent class. What is the parent class? Whatever is there at left side, that will be taken as parent class. So has a variable we have to take. Now here check for the collection on nor collection. Here we have to check for the collection, because one student can have a different book. So for that reason, what you have to take? This collection variable, set of books. We have to take set of books, because one student can have multiple books. So how to store multiple books? By using the collection. In the one variable we can't store many values, so for that reason we have to take collection variable. And here the book id is unique, so for that reason I have taken here set of book, and in that I will store the books. So here we have to check for the collection. So in the one to many we have to take collection. So I will take here private set of book and BOBS, that is book objects. So check for the collection we have checked and taken. Add multiplicity. What is the multiplicity annotation we have to use? One to many. So let me import Ctrl+Shift+O java.util.set. Here we have to take one to many, right? And fifth step is join column. So I will take here add the join column, Ctrl+Shift+O java.util.set join column. So what will be the join column? That will be the SID FK, and that join column, foreign key column, will be created in the book, right? So these are the 5 steps we have done. Now this SID I want to take as a primary key, so add that ID, map with the table, so entity annotation, add that data for the getter and setter, add that allars, add that noargs, add that table for changing the table name stdtab, whatever you have given earlier. Ctrl+Shift+O. Let's save this. This is done. Now next thing, we have to go to the repository, go to the new, go to the interface. So book repository for saving the book records, repository, right? And we have to extend it from JPA repository. Here we have to give entity class name. What is the entity class name? Book. And what is the primary key? Data type integer. Ctrl+Shift+O for importing book. This is done. Now right click on this repo package and go to the new. Here we have to create which interface we have to create? Student repository for saving the student records repository, right? Let's save this. Same here. Extend from JPA, control space, enter. Here we have to take student, and what is the data type? Integer. Ctrl+Shift+O for importing this. Let's save this. So entity is done, repo is done. Now it's time to go for the testing this. So go to the runner. Here we have to take test runner. So after creating this first step is we have to take at that component, right? And we have to implement CLR, that is command line runner, and implement a run method. So add an implemented run method. Here we have to take the properties that is private. First one is book repo z3 b repo, also @atto wired, Ctrl Shift O for importing book repo z3, right? Ctrl Alt down for copying below. Now for storing the student record, so student repository, and name of the variable will be yes repo. Ctrl Shift O for importing this, right? So first of all we'll save the book record. So let me create here a book objects. So what are the we taken 5060 ds sb. So book bk1 equals to new book. Here 50 data structure book, Ctrl Alt down, Ctrl Shift O for importing. Its name will be bk2, id will be 60, name of the book will be Spring Boot, right? What happened here? Book. Now save this, save books by using the book repository brepo dot save. What you have to do? bk1, Ctrl Alt down, bk2. Let's save this. Now it's time to go over student object, student obj. So student student st1 equals to new student student. Here 101 sam, and you want these two books. So for that we have to create one set. So I will create above this set of the books. So how can we create that? Set of b-OK book, and s1 equals to new. Now here we'll use set of what bk1 he want, also bk2 he want. Ctrl Shift O for importing set, right? And here I will take s1. That means the Sam want two books in the whatever set we have given, book 1 and book 2, right? Now it's time to save for the student object. Save the student object. How to save that? By using the student repository repo dot save st1. Let's save this. Now it's time to run our application. So how to run that? Go to this base package com.app. In that we have Spring to one-to-many application. Press Ctrl F11. So before that let us check whether the tables are deleted. Yes, the tables are dropped. Press Ctrl F11. Run as Spring Boot application. Click on OK. So again the table will be created. Let us see whether that will be created or not. So it is running. What is, let's ignore that error. Drop if table exists. Create the tables, right? It is going right. Insert operation, yes, right. Now it is stop. Now it's time to check in the MySQL workbench. Go here. If I refresh, let's refresh. Yes, now I will check book tab. So we should get the 2. Right. In the student tab there is only one record, 101 sam. 101 sam, as we have seen in this picture, 101 sam id, right? Here we want 2, and this foreign key will be book in the under book. So if I go to the MySQL workbench and if I click on book tab, here you can see 101 101. That means data structure book is taken by this 101 student. What is that student? That is Sam. Also this Spring Boot book is taken by this 101 student name, that is Sam. So here we can see this in the student we are giving this foreign key column name, but this is creating in what? This is creating in this book table. We are taking in this parent, that is in the student, but it will be created in the book table. So this is a way we can implement one-to-many. This is about one-to-many. Now next thing, this is a many-to-many. So in the many to many, 3 tables will be created. How many tables will be created? 3 tables. So for that reason we have to use this @join table. So how 3 tables will be created? First one, let's suppose here we are taking only this example of student and book in the all example. So here what will happen? Many student have many books. So student 1 have book data structure and Spring Hibernate book, and also student 2 have what? Spring Boot and Hibernate. So what will happen? This is student tab, this is book tab, and next this table will be created, this third table. In that, this will be referred to this. This is a foreign key for this student tab. This will be the for this primary key and foreign key. So 101 is Sam and 50 is data structure book. So Sam is having data structure book. 101 is Sam. 70 is Hibernate book. So Sam has Hibernate book. 102 is John. 60 is a Spring Boot. So John has Spring Boot book. 102 is John. 70 is Hibernate. So John has Hibernate book. So this is a way we can implement many to many. And here 3 tables will be created, and the table name, foreign key name, whatever we have, that we have to give in the parent class. And as we have discussed, we take whatever present at left as a parent and whatever present at right side, that is child. So whatever foreign key, column name, join table name, that we have to given at parent side. So let's implement this. Go to the STS, go to the file, close all editors. Here go to the file, we have to create one project, Spring Starter project, and the name of the project will be what? Spring Boot many to many. So here many to many, and as before we have taken Lombok, MySQL driver and Spring Data JPA. These are the only 3 dependency we want here. Let's save this. The project will be created. So in the project we have to take the same, that is application.property, as we have taken in the earlier. So let me copy this, and after copying this I will close this one to many project. So how to close the project. Now another project is created, Spring Boot many to many. So in that I will first of all go to the application.properties. I will paste the properties because these properties are same. Now first thing what we do is create the packages. Go to the packages, and here com.app. First will entity entity package. Right click on this, go to the new. What are the package we have to take? At the repo package, right? And at the last we have to take test runner. So no class we have to not take, we have to take package. Go to the new, go to the package. Here we'll take runner runner. So entity. So first thing first, we have to define 2 classes. What are the classes? As same, book and student. So click on class. Here we will take book class. First of all, child class we will create it, that is book. Here we will take private integer bid @id, as we are taking as primary key. Private string bname, that is book name, right? This table, this class we have to map with the table. So entity annotation all args, no args, data for getter and setters. And table name, what you can do, table in the name and bk tab. I want to take here book tab, right? Also in the entity. Now let's go for the second class, that is student many to many. We are implementing here student. So in that we will take as before we have taken integer sid primary key id. Control Shift O for importing this. Control Shift O. Private string student name, right? So what happened here? import id, yes, it is imported. Now let us see here what. Now check for the collection. As many students have many books, so we have to take collection. So book id is unique id, so for that reason I am using here set. So let's go here. So here I will create set of book, and private we have to take private set of book, book book, and book objects we have to take control shift o java.util.set. So this is taken. Collection, check for collection, yes, check. Now multiplicity annotation. What is the annotation? Add that many to many. Let me take many to many, yeah, right. Now what are the last step? Add join table. So as we have discussed, in the many to many we have to take is join table, because the table will be created, new table, third table will be created at the join table. Now first thing we have to take the name of the join table. Name of the join table, I will take student book tab. So in the join table, what will be the first one? The name of the join table. So what is the join table name? This is student book, st book I will take. Next thing is foreign key column names. This is first one, foreign key column name, this is second one, and then how to specify this here. So let me go down here, join column, let me take here a comma, then we will get recommendation join column, and here we have to take @ join column, and under that we have to take name SIDFK foreign key, then comma. Now the table name is given, this first foreign key column name is given. Now how to give the second foreign key column? So for that reason we have inverse foreign key, and same here @ join column, and name equals to BIDFK, right. This, that's it. What happened here? Let me see whether this is correct or not. Yeah, inverse, here we have to take inverse join column, sorry, here we have to take inverse join column, not inverse foreign key. Here we have to take inverse join column. So what will happen? The third table will be created like this, and the third table name will be this std. So I will mention it here stbktab, and that will have two columns, that is first one for this foreign key, and the column name will be SIDFK, and second one for BIDFK. So inverse join column, that will come here. I hope you understood this. So the two classes are done. Now go to the repository. Here we have to create two repository. Interface, book repository, and we have to extend it from JPA repository, JPA control space enter, book, and integer, control shift O for importing, yeah. Right click on this, go to the new, for the student record we have to save for student repository. So student repository, enter, control M, what, yes, extends JPA repository, right, student entity class name, and integer, control shift O for importing student. Repository is also done. Now it's time to save the records. Go to the new, go to the class. What is the class name? As usual, test runner. Let's save this, and @component, right, and which implement command line runner, CLR control space enter. We have to implement one method, that is run method, yeah. And next thing, for saving the private student repository, yes, repo @auto wired, yeah, Control Shift O for importing. Next one is private book repository b repo wait @auto wired, yeah, Control Shift O for importing this. First thing first, we have to take book, create book objs, that is object. So book bk1 equals to new book, which what are the we have taken in this example 50 60 70 data structure, Spring Boot and Hibernate. 50 and ds, Control Shift O for importing, yeah, down 2 3 60 70 Spring Boot Hibernate. Let's save this, save book. So by using what, book repository brepo dot save bk1, Control Alt down bk2 bk3. Let's save this. Now it's time to create the what student object. So student est1 equals to new student. So what are the taken we have in this 101 Sam and John. So 101 Sam, and now it's time to go for the book. So what are the books taken by the Sam? That is 50 and 70, that means data structure and Hibernate. So ds and Hibernate, and we have to taken as hash set. So I will take here a set of book, and I will take hs1 and es1 set of book 1, that is ds data structure, and what else, ds and Spring Boot, yeah, vk1 vk3, Control Alt down, and es2, that is John want which one, sb and hb, big 2 and big 3, right? And here same, Control Shift O. What happened? Remove the argument. What here? What happened? In the student, let's save this. What we have integer sid name, and this what happened here? We are getting this here error, that is because in the book in the student I have not given the annotation properly. So for mapping with this we have to take entity for mapping with the table, and also table name I want to take it as name equals to std_tab, and also add the data for the get translator, add the all args constructor, add the no args constructor. So I forgot to add this annotation, that is the entity table all args no args. So for that reason we are getting the error. Now that error will be gone, yes. Now Control Alt down. Next one, second student I want to take as John, JHON John, and he want these books. So the name of the object will be st2. Now save the students. So save students. How to save that? Student repository dot save student1, Control Alt down, and also student2. Let's save this. Now it's time to run this application. So before running this application I will drop the tables. Right click, drop to tables, drop now. Let's close all these. So if I refresh, it should drop. So here we can see there is no tables here. So drop successfully, and Now go to this base package and class Spring Boot many to many application. Let's press Ctrl F11, run as Spring Boot application. OK. So here we can see drop table if exist and create the tables. Let's 3 tables are creating. Here you can see book tab, student book tab, and also insert operation should be done here. Let's see whether that will be done or not. Alter the tables. Yes, insert operation is done. Also it will stop. No, so stop, application is stopped. Now let's go to here, and if I refresh we should get the 3 tables. So first of all, what we will see, student tab. Student tab should have two what happened? Yes, no, this is student, then stdbk. Let's go to student tab. Yeah, 101 Sam, 102 John. Now let's go to the book tab. So 50 data structure, 60 Spring Boot, 70 Hibernate, and the join table name, that is stbk tab. So 101 have 50. Here you can see 101 have 50, 102 have 60, 102 have 60. Yes, also 101 have 70 and 102 have 70. So 101 70, 102 70. So this is the way we can implement many to many. So I hope you understood this. So next thing and last one remaining is one to one. So let us go here and file, close all editors. So let me copy the application.properties, Ctrl A, Ctrl C. Let's close this project. So close the project and go to the file, go to the new. Here we have to create one Spring Starter project, new Spring Starter project, and the project name will be Spring Boot 1 to 1. 1 to 1. Click on next. What are the dependencies? Lombok, MySQL driver, and Spring Data JPA. Click on finish. Now here we will take the same example, student. That is, here what will be the case? One student can have only one book, and also that coding step are same. First of all, define two classes, that is student and book. Next one has a variable in the parent class, so has a variable book we have taken. Next, collection, as here we have only one to one, so one student have only one book, so there is no need to take the collection variable, right? So third condition will be checked. Now fourth one, add a multiplicity annotation, that is, here 1 to 1 will become, so 1 to 1 annotation will write. Next one, add the join column. So join column will be, we can take anywhere, but we have to specify here. So in the mainly we will create in the at the parent side, so bidfk, this foreign key will be created at parent side, that is student side, and by using is we can refer this. So here the table our is created this project. First thing we have to do is go to the application.properties, SRC means resources, paste here whatever properties we have. Next thing we have to create the packages. Right click on this base package, go to the new, go to the package. Here we will create one package called entity. Right click on this, go to the new, go to the package. Here we have to create what? Repo package. Right click on this, go to the new, go to the package. Here we have to create one runner runner package. Right now, next thing we have to create first, what will be the first step? Define two classes. So let me go here, right click on these, go to the new, go to the class. Here first of all, book class will be created. Now in that, whatever we have taken earlier, private integer bid, add that id for the primary key, private string bname, that is book name, and mapping with the table, add that entity, add that data for getter and setter, add that all args constructor, add that no args constructor, and we have to take table name, so add that table, and name of that table is bktab. Control shift O for importing this. So this is done. Now next entity, go to the new, go to the class. Here we have to create student, student, Control M, So private integer yes id, private string yes name, that is student name. Let's save this. Now create a has a variable in the parent class. What is has a variable? That is book. So b okay, that is book object. Now here there is no need of collection variable. Add multiplicity annotation. What will be the add that 1 to 1? No, add that 1 to 1. Yeah. Now fifth step is add the join column. So join column for the foreign key name, that is b book id efk. Let's save this. And this yes id I want to take as a primary key, so id. Let's save this. Control shift O. This we have to map with the table. So add that entity annotation, add that table for changing the table name std_tab. Let's save this. Add the data for the getter and setter or args, add that no args. Let's save this. So all the error is gone now. Now it's time to go for repository. Right click on this, go to the new, go to the interface. Here we have to create two interfaces, that is book repository, right? Control a extends JPA, control space enter. Here book and primary key integer, control shift O, importing. Next one, right click, go to the new, go to the interface. Here student repository, right? And extends JPA repository and student and also integer, right? Control shift O for importing this. Now go to the runner, right click, go to the new, go to the class. Here we'll create test runner, and first thing we have to do, add that component and implement CLR, that is command line runner, and unimplemented method we have to add, that is run method. For saving we have to take private book repository brepo and add that auto void. Press Ctrl Shift O for importing this. Next one private, next one what? Student repository. So here student repository yes repo @auto void, Control Shift O for importing. Now let's create a book object. So create book objects. So book bk1 equals to new book. So what we have taken 50, 60, 70, 50 ds, controller down, book 2, book 3, 60, 70. Second one is Spring Boot and this one is Hibernate. Let's save this. What happened here? What we are getting? Control Shift O. Yes, we have to import this book. Now save this object. So save objects. How to save that? Using brepo.save bk1, controller down, store 2 and 3. Now create student object. So student st1 equals to new student 101 sam and bk1. Control down, student 2, 3, Control Shift O for importing. this have 2 3. Here we'll take John and Angela. Book 2, book 3. Save these objects by using yes repo, that is student repository dash save est1 control down 2 and 3. Let's this is same. Now for running this application, go to this main class and press Ctrl F11. So before that, let us see whether the tables are dropped. No. Here first of all we have to drop this table. Right click, drop 3 tables, drop now. Let me close all these. Let us see, this is running. Now drop tables are dropped. Now let's check this. Ctrl F11, run as Spring Boot application. Okay, so run. So the application is running now. So just ignore the errors. So drop table if exists, create the tables, alter the table. Now let us see insert operation. So inserting this, the application will be stopped. Yes, stop. Now it's time to go for MySQL Workbench. Now let's refresh here. So first of all, student tab, and so here we can see 101 Sam, John and Angela, and he is having 50, 60, 70. So in the book tab, here you can see 50 data structure, 60 Spring Boot, 70 Hibernate. And in this student tab, you can see that BIDFK as we have seen here. So Sam have this data structure book, John have Spring Boot book, and Angela have Hibernate book. So this is the way we have seen one-to-one, many-to-many, one-to-many, and many-to-one. And we have followed these steps for coding. So this is the way we can implement this association mapping. So if you like this video, you can hit like to this video and also subscribe to our channel. And I have already created other videos on Spring Boot. You can also check that. I will give link of that video in the description. And if possible, I will also give the link of the code in the description for all the 4 example whatever we have seen.